Students, I am JV'n Nehal Mittal, and today I'm going to teach you about act of God as a general defense in law of torts. So, act of God serves as a good defense under the law of torts. It also is recognized as a valid defense in the rule of strict liability. This was seen in the case Rylance versus Fletcher, which is a landmark case for strict liability. So, the defense of act of God and inevitable accident might look the same, but they are different. Act of God is a kind of inevitable accident in which the natural forces play their role and causes the damage. For example, like earthquakes, heavy rainfall, storms, tides, etc. Essential requirement for this defense are that it should be a natural force working and there must be an extraordinary occurrence of it and not the one which could be anticipated and guarded against reasonably. Working natural forces. So there is a case called Ramlinga Nadar versus Narayan Redjar, and the unruly mob robbed all the goods transported in the defendant's lorry. It cannot be considered to be an act of God, and the defendant, as a common carrier, will be compensated for all the loss suffered by him. The next is Nicholas versus Marshland. So the defendant created an artificial lake on his land by collecting water from natural streams. Once there was an extraordinary rainfall, heaviest in human memory, the embankments of the lake got destroyed and washed away all the four bridges belonging to the plaintiff. The court held that the defendant were not liable as the same was due to act of God. Now, occurrence must be extraordinary. So, some extraordinary occurrence of natural forces is required to plead the defense under the law of torts. So, in Kalulal versus Hemchand, the wall of a building collapsed. Why? Because there was due to a very normal rainfall of about 2.66 inches, and the incident resulted in the death of the respondent's children. So the court held that the defense of act of God cannot be pleaded because by the appellants in this case, so the act of God cannot be pleaded by the appellants in this case because as much rainfall was normal and something extraordinary is required to plead this defense. So the appellant was held liable. So the more important part is that it should be a natural force working and it should be extraordinary in order to get the defense of act of God. If such natural force is a reasonable one and it is anticipated one, then getting the defense of act of God is not possible. That's all. Thank you so much.